Hi guys! So it just occurred to me that I haven't done a haul video in such a long time. So I guess this is a perfect opportunity for me to do a haul video for you. There's a mix of stuff from both Sephora and a couple of the drugstores that I've been to. I'm gonna get started with the stuff that I picked up from Sephora, and a brand that we don't have over here in the UK is Formula X. There were just so many colours to choose from, literally every shade of the rainbow and different variations of those shades, so you get the gist. I played it safe and I picked up a red, and this colour is called Farenheit, and it's quite a vibrant red, but it's kind of got a slight pink undertone to it. And then I picked up just a plain top coat. I don't think this is a particularly fast drying top coat, but you know, I thought I'd give it a go. I have to say that in terms of the coloured polish, the lasting power is not too great. Now, I've only worn this maybe 2 or 3 times, but I have found that it starts to chip within 2 or 3 days, which is not the longest amount of time, seeing as now nail polishes are lasting up to 7 days, like the Maybelline ones, which I absolutely love. But yeah, I still like the colour, so obviously I'm still going to be wearing it, but it's just kind of annoying that it just chips after a very short time. I'm not really sure on the verdict of this yet. I also picked this up, and it's the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Corrupt. And I know you can get these in the UK, but you know, in the heat of the moment, you end up putting stuff in your basket that you probably shouldn't be putting in your basket, hence why I end up with this. I've actually got the shade Roach, which is a much more lighter kind of bronzy type brown, and this is actually a much more darker brown, and I love wearing this on the lash line. It just gives that hazy definition without having to use black, which can sometimes be a little harsh. And it's really easy to work with, really easy to blend, and it lasts all day. The other thing I picked up was the Bite Agave lip mask, and with it being winter over here in the UK, things can get a little bit dry, a little bit crackly, a little bit flaky, and you know, I'm talking about lips and skin. I have found that using this has helped my lips so much, and although I love the packaging, it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass to actually get the product out. You really have to squeeze it, squeeze. And what comes out is a really sticky, peachy pink kind of gel with a little bit of shimmer to it, which I guess you can just wear it on its own because it does give that tiny tint of pinky peach to your lips. But I tend to slap this on before I put on my lip gloss or my lipstick, and I also like to put it on before bed as well. I found that this has helped my lips to stay really moisturised and really nourished, and prevented them from getting too chapped. I am late to the game with this because Tarte isn't so easily available over here in the UK. I think you can only get it on QVC, but then they don't even stock the full range there. So I took the opportunity to pick up the Lights Camera Splashes mascara, and I find with this mascara that it builds really easily, and 2 coats is basically all you need. And if you start to build any more than that, then I find that it gets a little bit too heavy on the lashes, and the lashes tend to just kind of start drooping. Another brand that you can only get in Sephora is the Elizabeth and James, and I believe this is the range by Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. And when I spotted these in the Isle of Doom, as most people would like to call it, because they have absolutely everything but in miniature form and at such a low price point. If you can't decide on whether to get the white or the black in the original size bottle, you can pick up the smaller bottles and then test them out and see which one you like better. I actually love both of them. The white one smells really light and fresh, but there is a sweetness to it as well. It's quite sexy, quite feminine, quite fruity as well. And in terms of the black one, this is definitely a lot more muskier. It's still quite sweet, but not sickly sweet, but it's definitely less feminine, less fruity, and just really sexy smelling. I would say wear the white one during the daytime and wear the black one in the evening, or the white one for spring summer, the black one for autumn winter. I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with black eyeliner. Sometimes I can do both eyes within 2 minutes. I think that's pretty good. Sometimes I can be there for 20 minutes and then I give up. And I was very curious about the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper because every single beauty blogger has been raving about this for the longest time. And I was curious to know what made it so special. And after trying it out, I can tell you why. And it's because the tip is not like a felt tip pen tip. It's actual brush hairs, but it gathers together so that from the outside and even up close, it looks like a felt tip pen tip. But then when you kind of brush it, you can see that the tip is really flexible. And I think that's why it makes it so easy to work with. I'm not sure about the pigmentation on this, and this might spark some controversy because I don't think it's that black. And there, if you can see on my hand, the bottom line is where I've gone over it twice. And the first line is just one stroke of the brush. I don't think it's consistent either because the line, you can see it's not solid. I have to go over the line a few times to actually get it really thick and bold looking. But I'm yet to make a complete judgment on it, and I will keep on trying it, and I'm sure there'll be a review on my site soon. So if you're interested in knowing how I actually get on with this further down the line, then please stay tuned and check it out on my blog. One brand that I noticed that was so much cheaper in Sephora was the Hourglass brand, and when I saw the price of the ambient blush palette, it just made me cry inside because it is literally pound for the dollar. I think the palette is about £56 over here, whereas in the States it was $58. One of the products that caught my eye, and which I haven't actually seen anyone talk about, is the Hourglass Illume Sunset. And it's a bronzer and blush duo, and it's in a cream formulation, which I thought made it interesting. I don't tend to use my cream products as much as I use my powder products, and I'm not even sure why that is. I do like to wear cream blushes in the summertime because I feel like it looks a bit more natural. And the only cream bronzer I have is the one from Chanel. So I thought it'd be interesting to try another cream bronzer out and another cream blush. And I really like the colour of the blush. It's definitely a peachy colour, and I think it would look great in spring and summertime. I've yet to make a decision on the bronzer. I did play around with it to check out the colour, but I've not actually yet worn it. I really love the packaging. It's got the reflective packaging, which they're quite well known for. And then you kind of swivel it to a side and it... Oh! I did not mean to do that. Well, that's annoying. I literally just stabbed my finger into it. The palette swivels out like that, and then you can just flip over the mirror and you can slide it back up like that. The next two are actually two Nars palettes, which I didn't actually buy myself. They were actually a gift, but because I got them from New York, I just thought I'd throw them in the haul video as well. And the first palette is the Narsissist eye palette. No, it doesn't have a name, it's just an eyeshadow palette. This has been around for a little while now, but it's an eyeshadow palette, and it contains, how many shadows? 5, 10, 15 eyeshadows. It's a mixture of mattes and shimmer, and since I've had this palette, I've been wearing literally nothing else. Apart from the Nars Dual Intensity eyeshadows, I've never actually tried Nars eyeshadow. The formulation and the texture of the shadows are incredible, really smooth, really buttery, really easy to work with. And I've not really gotten around to using all of the colours in this palette, but the ones I have been using are this kind of peachy one here, which is a shimmer, a kind of more neutral beigey shade, this bronzy shade, this light tan shade, and then two of the darker browns at the end, which I tend to use kind of for the crease and along my lash line. And so far I'm really impressed with the Nars eyeshadows, and I don't know why it's taken me so long to try them. The other Nars palette, which is part of their holiday collection, is their kind of a cheek and bronzer palette. Inside you get 3 blushes, And the names of them I don't have to hand, but I'll put them in the description box once I find out what they are. I believe this is Nars Laguna, which I'm a big fan of, and this is one of their highlights. So it's basically all your cheek products in one palette, and obviously you get the option between 3 different blushes as well. I've yet to use this, but I think this palette would be great for traveling. Moving on to some of the stuff that I actually picked up in the drugstore. The first products I picked up were from a brand that again we don't have here in the UK, and it is Milani. I ended up picking the Milani Illuminating Face Powder. It's definitely not a face powder, it's more of an all-in-one highlighter, bronzer and blush, and this is in the shade 02 Hermosa Rose, and I absolutely love this product. If you're after a blush shade that gives you a healthy glow but doesn't kind of interfere with the rest of your makeup, like if you're wearing a strong smoky eye or a really bold lip, then this is the perfect blush shade. It's not too pink, it's not too peach, it's not too brown, it's just the perfect combination of the 3, and it just makes this really neutral blush shade. And I've actually got it on myself today, and I've been wearing it loads since I got it. And the other Milani product is the Baked Powder Blush, and I got the shade 03 Berry Amore, and it is a very, very warm toned blush. It's got a very strong kind of peachy apricot-y undertone with a bit of pink and gold shimmer in it. I think this would be a really nice springtime stroke summertime blush. The other US drugstore brand that I picked up was Physicians Formula, and we definitely don't have that here in the UK. And I decided to pick up their, what is this? Their Super CC+ Color Correction and Care CC+ Powder SPF 30 Broad Spectrum Sunscreen in light medium. Wow, that is a mouthful. I was drawn to this because it looked really interesting inside. It's a powder kind of laced through it. It's a bit of yellow, a bit of pink and a bit of green, and those are the kind of color correcting colors that they are referring to. So you know, with the kind of red peachiness, that kind of counteracts any blueness in your skin, and then the green will kind of counteract any redness in your skin. I think that's the theory behind it. It's a very light powder, and I have been using it, and I think it might be a bit too light for my complexion, but I'm still going to carry on using it, and then once I've made up my mind how I feel about it, I'm sure it will be up on the blog. And it actually comes in a very cheap and tacky looking compact. I'm not a fan of the packaging. Then it also reveals a bottom bit where you've got what I call the useless brush. I've not touched that at all, but it's got the very handy mirror, which is great. The other Physicians Formula product I picked up was their blush, and this is called the Happy Booster Glow and Mood Boosting Blush, and this is in the shade Rose. It's a little bit cute but a little bit tacky at the same time. I guess I was drawn to the different coloured hearts on the inside. Again, the packaging is quite similar to the powder. It's got the useless brush underneath. You know, I'm saying it's useless, I've not actually used it, but I'm already judging it. Shame on me. But most of the time they are useless. And obviously you get the mirror as well, which is very, very handy. But again, review would definitely be on the blog sometime in the near future. The next 2 products I picked up are from L'Oreal, but we don't actually have this in the UK. And it's the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows. And I picked up the shade 890 Bronze Taupe and 892 Amber Rush. These have had the most amazing reviews on YouTube and in the blogging world, and now I can finally see why. It's an eyeshadow, but it comes in a pressed pigment formulation, and even once you open the lid, you've got another kind of lid which kind of keeps everything neat and tidy in the pot. The formulation is so smooth, it feels like silk, and the payoff is absolutely amazing. I mean, just look at the sheen on that. And Amber Rush is just a little bit more warmer. Look at that. Both of them side by side. They are absolutely stunning. And God knows why they're not available in the UK, but L'Oreal, you need to sort it out. That is it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I've bought in my New York haul from Sephora and from the drugstores. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.